Hi everyone. I woke up on January 6th, 2026, and everything in space science felt different. That morning, astronomers released new data. The mainstream news did not know how big it was. I looked at the 8K images they shared. They showed a deep space object called 3I Atlas. This object was not blurry. It was not just another dot in the sky. It changed everything we thought we knew. It was the kind of discovery that makes old ideas look wrong. For years, scientists told us they understood black holes. They told us they understood how jets come out of active galactic centers. But what I saw in these images made me question all of that. The object had something impossible. It had three jets, not one, not two, three. And all three jets looked almost the same. The symmetry was shocking. I stared at the pictures. I did not understand how this could happen. Jets in space are usually chaotic. They twist, they break. They change shape all the time, but these three jets did not look chaotic at all. They looked organized. They looked controlled. The perfect shape of all three jets made no sense to me. Scientists have always said jets form because of magnetic poles. They usually shoot out in opposite directions, but here, the geometry was different. The alignment looked like something I had never imagined. Some people whispered that the center looked artificial. Some said it might be exotic physics. Some said it might be something beyond our science books. When I zoomed in, I saw a strange energy pattern. The center glowed blue-green. Outside that, I saw orange gas. Further out, I saw deep violet clouds. The colors didn't look random. They looked like steps or layers. It almost looked designed. I kept asking myself how these colors formed. Normal jets are mostly hydrogen and helium, but these colors suggested other elements, maybe heavier ones, maybe things we do not understand. The heat map also showed a gradient. The gradient was clean and smooth. It did not look like a messy explosion. It looked like a signal. The more I looked, the more questions I had. I wondered if something intelligent was happening. The color changes were too neat. The energy pattern was too exact. I remembered scientists talking about techno-signatures. This object looked like something they would want to study. For 30 days, astronomers watched the jets. Every night, the jets stayed stable. They did not shift. They did not flicker wildly. They did not break apart. They moved smoothly and calmly, almost like a living thing, almost like a machine. This bothered me. Exploding stars do not behave like this. Black hole jets do not stay this steady for so long. Chaos is normal in space. Stability is rare, but 3I Atlas was steady every day. It felt like it was working, not dying, not collapsing, working. Some scientists thought this meant the system was alive. Not alive like an animal, but alive like an organized system. Some compared it to a cell in a body, some compared it to an engine. I didn't know what to think, but I could not deny the symmetry. I could not deny the motion. I could not deny the energy. The original images had a lot of noise. There were grainy patches everywhere. Some people used that to argue the jets were fake, but the researchers cleaned the images. They removed the static. They isolated the signal. And even after cleaning, the jets were still there. Still perfect. Still aligned, still impossible. The 3D modeling changed everything. It revealed the third jet clearly. The third jet was not a trick of the camera. It was real. It had depth. It pushed through space like a drill. The structure had three parts: the forward jet, the side jet, and the recessional jet in the back. The recessional jet balanced the system. It kept the shape stable. It made the formation stronger. It was like a tripod in space. No one expected this. No one had a model for it. The discovery pushed scientists to rethink the rules. If this was natural, then nature was more advanced than we thought. If it was artificial, then something built it. When I looked at the symmetry again, I felt uneasy. Nature rarely makes perfect triangles. The universe is messy. Black holes are messy. Stars explode in chaotic ways. But this was clean, perfect, organized. It was the opposite of chaos, the opposite of entropy. It felt like order. It felt like intention. And that scared me. I thought about explosions on Earth. They never make perfect shapes. They never stay stable for a month. But this object did. I wondered if something was guiding it. A field, a force, or something else. Some researchers suggested it might be a megastructure. Not a Dyson sphere, not a giant shell, but maybe a giant engine. A cosmic engine. A machine using three jets as its output. The idea sounded strange, but the geometry supported it. The stability supported it. The shape supported it. The energy supported it. I kept thinking about the fuel. Why was this object in the middle of empty space? Most energetic objects sit in busy galaxy centers. They feed on stars and debris, but 3I Atlas was alone. So I asked myself, where is it getting the energy? How is it powering three massive jets? Is it tapping into something deeper? Something like vacuum energy? Something like zero-point energy? If that was true, it could change everything. It could change our understanding of energy. It could change our understanding of physics. It could change our future. This object might be showing us a new kind of power, a clean kind, a strong kind, a cosmic kind. The more I studied the jets, the more I felt like I was looking at a new door. A door to new science, a door to new technology, a door to a new age. The violet clouds showed extremely hot gas, gas hotter than anything we can contain on Earth. Yet the jets stayed straight, they stayed focused. They did not burst outward. I realized that something was holding them together, something like a magnetic bottle, something beyond our machines, something far stronger, maybe something made on purpose, or maybe something natural that acts like a machine. Either way, the structure looked controlled, not wild, not random, not accidental. The gradient from blue-green to violet gave me clues about speed. The material was moving fast, very fast, maybe close to the speed of light. That amount of energy is unbelievable, and it was all being controlled, all being shaped, all being guided. The more I studied the object, the more it felt like a system, not a mistake, not an explosion. A system with rules, a system with purpose, a system that wants to stay stable. A system that wants to keep working. Some people said it reminded them of a neuron, like a giant brain cell firing in space. The comparison felt strange, but I understood why they said it. The patterns matched, the lines matched, the organization matched. The structure looked alive in its own way. I knew the scientists would try to explain it away. They always do. They would say, magnetic reconnection. They would say, unusual plasma event. They would try to hide the weirdness, but I couldn't ignore it. The jets were too perfect. The energy was too clean. The shape was too stable. There was no chaos. There was no randomness. There was only order. And order demands a cause. That is what made me keep watching. That is what made me keep asking questions. That is what made me keep studying. Because I knew this was not normal. I knew this was something new, something important, something historic. When I looked deeper into the data, I saw something that surprised me even more. The 3D reconstruction of the jets was not done by NASA at first. It was done by independent researchers. These people did not use automated filters. They did not smooth the data. They worked frame by frame. They took their time. They looked at every pixel. That is why they found things the big agencies missed. One of those things was the recessional jet. The backward jet, the third leg of the formation. It was almost hidden in the noise, but the manual cleaning made it clear. The jet was real. It was not a mistake. It was not a reflection. It was not lens error. It had depth. It had shape. It had motion. The jet pushed energy backward like a rocket exhaust. This changed everything I thought I knew. If there are 3 jets, the structure becomes stable like a tripod. 3 points create balance. 2 points do not. This made the whole object look engineered. It felt like someone wanted it to stay stable, wanted it to stay aligned, wanted it to stay active. I wondered why the automated systems missed this. Maybe the software removed it as noise. Maybe the software thought it was extra data. But the human eye caught it. The human eye saw the pattern. This taught me something about discovery. Sometimes machines miss what humans can see. Sometimes humans miss what machines can see. But in this case, the humans were right. The recessional jet made the whole formation make sense. Without it, the other jets would twist. Without it, the shape would fall apart. Without it, the symmetry would break. This made me think of a gyroscope. Gyroscopes use motion to stay stable. They use rotation to hold their shape. 3i Atlas looked like a cosmic gyroscope. A gyroscope made of energy. A gyroscope made of light. A gyroscope made of plasma. This could be natural, but it felt too perfect, too controlled, too balanced. This made the idea of a megastructure come back into my mind. Not a full sphere around a star, but a machine that uses jets as thrust. A machine that works on a huge scale. A machine that humans cannot build today, not even close. The blue-green ionization at the core also bothered me. Normal jets do not show this color. They usually show white, or blue, or red, but not blue-green in this way. This color meant something unusual was happening. Maybe new elements, maybe new reactions, maybe new physics. The color looked like processed material, not raw star gas, but something changed, something refined, something strange. This made me wonder if the object was using matter like fuel, taking matter in, changing it, then pushing it out as energy, almost like an engine. The energy map also showed a pattern. The center had the highest energy, then it faded into orange, then it faded into violet. This layering was too clean. It felt like steps, like stages, like levels. When things explode, they do not create levels. They create chaos. So I kept thinking, what creates levels? What creates steps? What creates order? Machines do, systems do, life does, but explosions do not. There was something else that made me more curious. The jets did not change shape for 30 days. Every night they stayed the same. They did not bend, they did not stretch, they did not break. This was not normal. Heat in space makes jets move. Gravity makes jets twist. The environment makes jets unstable. But not here. Here everything stayed in place. It stayed calm. It stayed steady. This felt like guidance, like something guiding the motion, something keeping it smooth, something telling it how to move. This made me consider if the object had a magnetic field around it, not a normal one, but a shaped one, a controlled one, a field strong enough to hold the gas in line, to keep the heat contained, to keep the jets pointed in 3 directions. That kind of stability needs power. A lot of power. More power than a star. More power than a black hole. More power than anything we know. So where was the power coming from? The object was not in a galaxy center. It was not eating stars. It was alone. So the fuel had to come from somewhere else. This made people whisper about vacuum energy, the idea that space itself holds energy. If something could tap into that, it could run forever. It could release jets forever. It could stay stable forever. This possibility scared me a little because if it was natural, then nature was much more powerful than we thought. And if it was artificial, then something made it. Something advanced. Something beyond us. When I looked at the violet gas clouds again, I saw how hot they were. Millions of degrees. But they stayed in a straight line. On Earth, we cannot hold fusion reactions for more than seconds. But this object held super hot gas for years, maybe longer. This meant some kind of containment was happening, a magnetic bottle, a plasma channel, or something else we do not know. This level of control felt impossible, yet I was looking at it. The gradient from blue-green to orange to violet showed a timeline. It showed how the gas cooled. It showed how it moved. It showed how fast it traveled. Some early models said the jets moved at a fraction of light speed. That is extremely fast. Fast enough to push matter across space, fast enough to be used for travel, fast enough to be used as propulsion. This made me think, what if this object is not a galaxy? What if it is an engine? A giant space engine? A propulsion system? The more I thought about it, the more the idea made sense. 3 jets for balance, perfect symmetry, stable energy, lonely location, clean gradient, processed matter. It all pointed toward a system, not an accident, not a random event. A system, a working system. I kept thinking about scientists who did not want to talk about this. They used words like unusual, or rare, or unexpected, but they avoided saying, we don't know. I know why. Scientists fear losing funding. They fear looking wrong. They fear the unknown, but I do not. I look at the object and say, I don't know what this is, but I want to find out. The stability of the jets proved that this was not a glitch. The symmetry proved that this was not random. The colors proved that this was not normal. The 3D depth proved that this was not a mistake. Everything pointed in one direction. This was new. This was big. This was important. The pattern of the jets reminded me of a brain cell, like a neuron in space. Some people said maybe the universe is alive in a way. Maybe galaxies behave like cells. Maybe energy flows like signals. Maybe we are looking at a giant cosmic system. I do not know if that is true. But the thought stayed in my mind, because the object behaved like it had purpose, not like a random explosion. Then I thought about how the object stayed hidden for so long. Maybe the noise in the original images covered it. Maybe the algorithms erased parts of it. Maybe the data was too weak at first. But now that it is clear, everyone can see it. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The triple jet is real. It is strong. It is stable. It is confusing. But it is there, every night, showing the same shape, showing the same colors, showing the same pattern. It does not vanish, it does not flicker, it does not hide. This consistency makes it scientific, this makes it studyable, this makes it important, this makes it historic. Some people said it beats the wow signal, some said it beats Tabby's star, some said it beats all other anomalies because this one has shape, this one has structure, this one has motion, this one has stability. You can point a telescope at it and watch it work. That is why the astronomy community is excited, and that is why I am excited too. Every night people check the data. Every night new questions appear. Every night the mystery grows. The more we look, the more confused we get, but also the more interested we become. 3i Atlas is challenging us. It wants us to think harder. It wants us to study deeper. It wants us to ask better questions. It wants us to grow. I know this object might change science forever. It might create new physics. It might help us build new technology. It might inspire new missions, or it might reveal something we never expected. But one thing is certain, this is not the end of the story. This is the beginning. As more people looked at 3i Atlas, the questions grew bigger. I kept checking the new data every day. Every update made the mystery stronger. I expected someone to explain it. I expected someone to solve it. But no one did. The more experts talked, the more confused they sounded. They called it an anomaly. They called it a rare event. They called it unusual plasma. But they did not explain the symmetry. They did not explain the colors. They did not explain the recessional jet. They avoided the hardest questions. That made me trust my own eyes more than their words. When I looked at the object, I saw order. I saw shape. I saw pattern. I saw control. I did not see chaos. I did not see randomness. I did not see noise. The more I studied the perfect triangle shape, the more impossible it felt. Nature almost never makes perfect triangles in space. Nature does not align three jets with precision. Nature does not create long-term symmetry like this. That made me ask myself, if nature didn't make it, then what did? Some people asked if it was alive, not alive like a plant or animal, but alive like a system trying to keep order, alive like something fighting entropy. Entropy means disorder. Everything in the universe slowly goes toward disorder, but this object creates order. It resists disorder. That is what life does. So people started asking if this thing acts like a giant organism, a star-sized organism, a cosmic organism, a system that breathes energy in and out. I did not know if that was true, but it explained the stability. It explained the flow. It explained the smooth movement. Other people suggested a megastructure, not a metal shape, not a giant shell, but a working machine. A machine using jets for thrust. A machine creating perfect balance. A machine using three outputs to keep itself stable. The symmetry supported this idea. The recessional jet supported this idea. The perfect motion supported this idea. The energy gradient supported this idea. The location supported this idea. It sat alone in empty space. No stars nearby. No galaxy cluster feeding it. Nothing to power it. Yet it stayed active. This made me think about engines. Engines need fuel. Engines need power. Engines need systems. 3i Atlas acted like it had all three, but no one could find the fuel source. No one could find the power source. No one could explain how it worked. Some people whispered about zero-point energy, the energy that exists in empty space, energy that humans cannot use yet. But maybe something else can. Maybe the object taps into it. Maybe that keeps it running forever. If that is true, it changes everything. It means energy is everywhere. It means we can someday power ships without fuel. It means we can travel far without limits. It means the universe has answers we have not learned yet. I also kept thinking about the colors again. Blue-green in the center, orange in the middle, violet on the outside. Normal space jets do not show this. This meant the matter was being changed. Maybe heated, maybe ionized, maybe processed. This did not look natural to me. Natural space objects are messy. This was not messy. This was organized. The cooling pattern also told a story. Blue-green meant high energy. Orange meant lower energy. Violet meant cooling gas. This showed steps. Steps showed processing. Processing showed control. Control showed purpose. I also studied the motion again. The jets did not shake. They did not explode outward. They did not widen. They did not curve. They stayed in perfect streams, even though the gas inside was millions of degrees hot. On Earth, we cannot hold hot plasma for long. Our machines break. The plasma escapes. But this object held plasma for years, maybe longer. Something shaped it. Something contained it. Something guided it. Something controlled it. I felt like I was watching a technology I did not understand, a kind of physics we have not learned, a kind of energy system beyond us. When people tried to explain it away, they sounded weak. They talked about magnetic reconnection. They talked about rare jets. They talked about lensing. But none of those ideas explained the triangle. None explained the balance. None explained the stability. None explained the symmetry. None explained the third jet. None explained the colors. It felt like they were afraid to say, "We don't know." I am not afraid to say it. I don't know what 3i Atlas is, but I know it is not normal. I know it is not common. I know it is not random. I know it is not noise. It is something else, something big, something important, something new. The more I studied it, the more it felt like a sign that the universe has rules we have not learned, a sign that energy can behave in new ways, a sign that gravity can act differently, a sign that matter can be shaped, a sign that space may not be as simple as we think. I also kept thinking about gravity. Gravity usually pulls things in. Gravity usually creates chaos near black holes. But this object showed the opposite. It showed order. It showed balance. It showed harmony. What if gravity is being guided? What if gravity is being shaped? What if gravity can stabilize instead of destroy? This could change our understanding of space-time. It could show new ways to travel. It could show new ways to move through the universe. Some people started talking about warp travel. If you can shape gravity, you can bend space. If you can bend space, you can travel faster. 3i Atlas might be showing us how. Not directly, but through its behavior, through its structure, through its energy pattern, through its movement, through its impossible stability. This object could be the key to future technology. A technology we cannot imagine yet. A technology we cannot build yet. A technology we cannot understand yet. But a technology we can learn from. If we pay attention, if we study it, if we do not ignore it, if we do not hide it. Some scientists wanted to stop talking about it. Some said there were more important things. Some said it was not worth extra study, but I did not believe them. When scientists get quiet about something, it means they found something big. Silence can be a clue. And I noticed silence growing around this object. That made it even more interesting. The independent researchers kept releasing models. They kept showing the symmetry. They kept showing the depth. They kept showing the colors. They kept showing the truth. People in space communities talked every day. Forums filled with questions, groups filled with theories. People wanted answers. People wanted truth. People wanted to understand the object. I wanted that too. The more I watched the jets, the more I realized they were like a fingerprint of something powerful, a fingerprint of something unique, a fingerprint of something that cannot be erased, even if noise hid parts of it, even if filters removed detail, even if people ignored it. The jets remained. The structure remained. The symmetry remained. The energy remained. The mystery remained. I kept thinking about how unlikely the symmetry was. The chance of 3 identical jets forming by accident is close to 0. Nature prefers randomness. Nature prefers uneven shapes. Nature prefers chaos. So the perfect balance told me one thing. This was not an accident. This was not chance. This was not random. Something caused it. Something designed it. Something controlled it. Something shaped it. I did not know what that something was, but it was there. Watching the object made me feel small. It made me feel curious. It made me feel excited. It made me feel like the universe still has secrets. Big secrets, important secrets, secrets waiting for us. This discovery felt like day 1 of a new chapter, a before and after moment, a moment that splits history, before 3i Atlas, and after 3i Atlas. January 6th, 2026 felt like a turning point, a day we realized we did not know the universe as well as we thought, a day we started learning again. A day the mystery opened. I know this object will change science. I know it will lead to new theories. I know it will inspire new missions. I know it will create new questions. I know it will push us forward. 3i Atlas is not just another object. It is a challenge. It is a puzzle. It is a message. It is a sign that the universe is bigger, stranger, and smarter than we imagined, a sign that we must explore more, a sign that we must keep asking questions, a sign that we must keep looking up. I will keep watching this object. I will keep studying it. I will keep asking questions. I will keep searching, because this is history. This is discovery. This is the unknown calling us. Thank you for being here. If you want clear news and simple explanations, hit subscribe and stay connected.